So, business plan, relevant any longer?
I think it is. We live and breathe by business plans. Just because in the VC industry, you're not often able to be with your companies face to face like you would hope to be or like to be. So the only thing that you can show as proof of your progress is a adjusted business plan along the way. So it kind of shows your milestones, it shows your benchmarks. And I think the traditional business plan may not be as relevant because of the way that our digital shift and waves kind of come and go. So I think it definitely can vary now what a business plan looks like. But I think you absolutely need a business plan because I'm a huge fan of brainstorming. And I think you need to brainstorm and put it on paper and make it a very formal and disciplined structure once you have your initial concept.
I would say that there's a couple things that in this technology bubble startup world that we have to really understand. There's the Silicon Valley way, then there's the rest of America, then the rest of the tech America trying to copy the Silicon Valley way. The Silicon Valley way works. It's been working for years. There's billions of dollars going through the industry. I know friends, colleagues that, some look like us, some don't, that walked in with they developers, they got a designer, they got a team of 3. They went with an idea and they knew the right people. They raised $50,000. 6 months later, they raised $1.5 million. No business plan, no nothing. Great executive summary, one sheet, knew the right people, boom, made it happen. A year later, they didn't get the traction like they thought they was going to get. Got acquired for a few $1 million. Everybody made their money back, and now they can work. They can work for a year or 2 years for the other company got acquired for, but they still making money. All right, it happens. Okay, in the Valley, a lot of times, if you know the right people, you can go with a great product, a great working demo, executive summary, a nice pitch deck, and with the right people to go over to pitch and tell your startup, because you can't pitch your startup. I don't care how good it's working. They're like, well, he or she can't explain what they're doing. Good luck. And then leave with some funding, leave with a check. I've seen it happen. It can happen. Now, on the East Coast a lot, in the rest of America, you better have a business plan, a good pitch deck, a good front person, able to tell your story, and all your stuff better be in a row. And then the expectations may be, all right, you launch. Well, we want to know when's our return going to come back quickly on a lot from the rest of the world. But the Valley is a different place, a different culture, and the mindset over there is a totally different than how a lot of America thinks, but it works over there. But just understand what you get into.
So I'd like to add on to Wayne's point, and this is, a lot of times we get really caught up in this business plan idea, and I think it's very, very important. But also, too, some people might not even start the idea because they think they have to put together this 50-page document. So the one thing that I would like to say to people is, okay, if you have an idea, you need to be able to document the idea, and you need to be able to get the idea from the inside of you, and you need to bring it into the physical world. And so I would say start out and begin to put together something that helps you to be able to communicate that idea to somebody beyond your mother. Unless your mother's Oprah and she can just go out and just fund the idea. So you want to be able to at least document that idea so you understand what it is. So if somebody asks you, you can explain. So I would say at least let's start there. And then based upon where you live at and who you have to meet with and those kind of things, then you can determine what the need is going to be in terms of how much you need to develop. But you need to be able to document and communicate so you understand it and you can communicate it.
I'll kind of play devil's advocate a little bit, but to Wayne's point, he said something that's very critical with having a less structured plan is that you have to know that you know the right people. You know the right people. You can get that stuff done if you know the right people in the Valley, but there's tons of people in the Valley who don't know the right people, or on the East Coast who don't know the right people. And so that's why I'm a huge advocate, because I'm like, if you maybe you don't know the right people, you need to have a backup. And then your backup needs to be something very solid, very structured, and very disciplined that can be kind of iterated over time. But I hear what you're saying, but they know the right people.
Yeah, exactly.
The next thing I wanted to touch on is branding. What is it beyond the pretty logo? What's the purpose, the goal? How much time should be invested? What are items for consideration that are critical? And that's a part of the business plan too, I would imagine. So Hajj, did you have thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I am a big advocate that I believe that every single person is a brand, first of all. So whether you run a business, whether you work for someone else or not. So I think everyone needs to wrap their mind around the fact that every decision that you make, everything that you do, every touch point, every person that you interact with, the admin that you mistreated, all the things that you do are a part of the brand, because people make decisions on whether they want to work with you or not because you don't know how to deal with people or treat people the right way. So that's very important. If you have taken on the idea of actually running an actual business, then that business has a brand and that has to be managed. And so a couple points that I want people, to kind of walk away with in terms of creating a brand footprint is that I really live by 3 principles. And those things is that you want to own mental real estate. So that means that you want to be the only solution in the mind of whoever it is that you're going after in terms of being your end customer. Next is that you want to have a digital footprint. That means that if people go to look for you, they need to be able to find you online. When the yellow pages come to my house, I get the yellow page and I go straight to the garbage can. So if anyone is here from from the yellow pages, it's nothing personal, but the people that I need to find, I can find on my mobile device, right? So again, you need to be able to have something that when people go to look for you, it's consistent with what you want them to know about you. The other piece is geographical real estate. You want to be the person in your geographical area that people can connect with. Lots of times we want to get connected with national media sources, and it's great to have those opportunities, but what they look for is solid stories in the local market. We've been very fortunate to do some really cool stuff with CNN, but I have a lot of opportunity to be able to work with the local media because I really position myself to be the thought leader. And I have a saying, and then I'll move on. Is that when the media, is that when my mother calls, take a message. When my wife calls, take a message. When the media calls, I literally stop everything. I don't care. The media, when they call you, they're on deadline. They are on. My wife knows she's first, but she knows if the media calls, I stop everything because they're on the side. And what will happen is that you'll get the opportunity that somebody else won't because you responded and you gave them valuable information. So when they call, respond to it. Okay, and I don't want to take any more time for that. Just a few little nuggets.
Don't forget about design and UI. That matters.
Can't be ugly?
No, come on, man. But it matters, especially, and I would say, especially in this environment, the stuff that you guys, we gonna make. It can't look like it was done in 1999. It can't look like it was for us. If we talking about building a worldwide company, a worldwide product, we want to make money is green. It can't look like it was done in the early 2000s. And we've heard conversations say it has to look, if we're going to try to raise funds for it, it also has to be 10 times better. So the design of UI, it matters. Don't say you can build a product, it works. No. First thing to look at, well, how does it look? What's the usability? Are you doing customer development? Are you testing the product out and saying, hey, you went to your friend and say, watch them use your product and got their first impression, their feedback. Design matters. Why we like the iPhone so much? Because the user experience, because it works easy, it looks great. Why we buy Macs? It looks great, we want to be cool. Same thing with an app, same thing with a website, a product, a social network. If Facebook were ugly, we wouldn't use it. Why we jump from MySpace to Facebook? If we couldn't get, right? You still on MySpace, right? The community went, but still, the user experience, the network, but if it matters. That's my main point. Design matters, even in branding. The logo, design, touch points, everything matters.
I would just add to that too. Once you decide, I know sometimes people take a lot of time to figure out the logo, but whatever your brand is, make sure that the message that you're trying to get across comes through in all of your branding and that you own it. So for us with Black Girls Code, when we first started, very first started, so I didn't really have too much problems going over this like after I got over that hump, but it was just the issue of calling our company Black Girls Code because that says black. So I did in the beginning, the very first couple months, maybe a couple of weeks, kind of really think about it. Now if I go out and I call it Black Girls Code, will that turn some people off? Will they not support our vision? And I talked to several people about that, but I really felt that that's the message I was trying to send. Our company was made, our organization is made to help girls of color. Girls from African American descent, girls from African descent, Latino, girls that are from Native American communities. But I also have a strong focus on women in coding, getting women in the field. Anyone can come to our class. We just have boys. But we're going to always be called Black Girls Code. So that's just the way it is. And then I own that. And I don't have any problem telling anyone the story of why I called it that. It's not going to be called Girls Who Code. We are Black Girls Code. And that I own that, and you see it in all of our marketing materials, the pictures we take with the girls. We want to show this is our focus. We're changing the face of technology, and we'll always be true to that. So that's all I want.